FaZe being one of the best Slayer teams coming into this event, but we challenged them to improve in their objective efficiency. Well, I'm looking at map number 1 and map number 3, which are first objective game types that we're seeing. Oddball and Recharge, CTF, and Aquarius. These are mapping game modes that FaZe have previously struggled on. Well, so far, CTF and Oddball, undefeated at this tournament are FaZe. We challenged them to get more objective efficient, and they answered that immediately.
Yeah, I mean, if there is ever a time for FaZe to take this and get themselves into the grand finals, this is it. Because if you don't win the game types that you have been so consistently winning, and then you end up in the losers bracket against a red hot Optic, it's going to be tough and could take a mental toll.
I think my biggest concern right now for FaZe is not about how much they've improved. Obviously, it's pretty clear, right? It's about Shopify Rebellion and how easy it is for them to be so efficient. It's like second nature at this point in time. So my question mark for FaZe really comes into, are you ready for the level of kind of teamwork and strategy and structure that they have, not just being forced, but it's muscle memory at this point. We're looking at players who are moving around the map, for example, even Cykul and LastShot, to be perfectly honest with you. The way that they move around the map and position themselves, it's unbelievable. It's years ahead of really their age, and it's truly extraordinary to see. It's what wins in games. Having that level of structure and composure on a map is massive, and it really does bode well for the efficiency of objective work. I mean, what happened yesterday where I blinked and literally a CTF game was over on Collie, I could not believe my eyes. That is going to be really, really difficult for FaZe, but I'm hoping they can step up to the mark. Tony, are you feeling kind of secure in the thoughts with FaZe here, getting on that main stage, knowing like, okay, we're going up against the most buttoned up team? Are we as buttoned up? Because actually, when you look at playstyles, they're quite similar in playstyles. Both these teams want to be efficient. They want to work well together. They're not scrappy teams going head to head. This is going to be who outworks who.
Well, and like I said, I'm really proud of FaZe for making the improvements going into this tournament, but I will say on the flip side of things, Shopify Rebellion already had the widest map pool. They were already great at Oddball and CTF coming into this tournament, and it's the same from them. And I will say, I'm happy you mentioned Cykul. Watch out for Cykul, because specifically when matched up against FaZe, he outslays everybody else in the lobby by 20 kills in a series. He tops out assists. He is always the player to watch specifically when going up against FaZe.
I will say, if there are two players right now on either side that you want to maybe remove from the game in terms of the power that they have on a map, it's got to be Cykul and probably SnakeBite as well. Those two are going to be very difficult. They have been making extraordinary plays for their team, and they're going to try to step up the most. So we'll have to see what happens very shortly. And you know, guys, it is time to get onto the main stage. It's time to hand over to our two wonderful casters who are taking the reins. Boys, last major of the season, last winners finals of our major here. This is a big one, Shopify and FaZe. My goodness me. I hope you guys enjoy.
Thank you, Watt. This is the big one, Dave. Charlotte, are you ready for a championship Sunday winners bracket finals match? Your hometown team, they've made it all the way throughout the championship bracket. FaZe Clan proving some of the doubters wrong, getting to this point. But it is at this point that FaZe have normally fallen. They have not beaten Optic Gaming this year. They have not beaten Shopify Rebellion, Dave. And when these two teams match up, it always feels like Shopify Rebellion bring their A game. What are you expecting to see from FaZe to maybe, in their hometown event, to change something up?
I mean, on paper, when this FaZe roster was formed, we start to say, I'm a believer. On paper, this team is going to click. It's all going to work out. But we saw the early struggles. We saw them not getting over those humps. We saw the objective inefficiency, the missed slays, the missed callouts. But that's gotten slowly and steadily better, event by event. And this one, undoubtedly, is the best I've seen FaZe play yet this year.
Yeah, the great news for FaZe so far throughout this event, battle tested. They've showed their ice. They have won multiple game fives. The close games have gone in their favor. They're gonna need that to push this series further in the distance. Usually when these two teams match up, Shopify, it's a beatdown. It's big bro versus little bro right now. And if you're FaZe, you're finding ways to consistently push this series a little bit further, because they're undefeated in Slayers, Dave, coming into this series. If they can get it to a game 5, they can have some confidence that they can actually take this series. On the side of Shopify, however, how impressive have they looked all weekend long?
This team is just so insanely consistent. You can't really ever count them out. It's just wild. These guys aren't missing shots. They have what feels like infinite patience.
Yeah.
Whether it gets down to the wire at the end of the game, they're still taking the smart, calculated route. You don't see these panic charges across the map, and that just shows that each of those players are so confident on their roster that they need to do their part, chip away a little damage, stay alive a little bit longer, and they know their team will take care of the rest.
Is there anyone on Shopify you're looking to really kick this series off? Championship Sunday, all 4 of those players have showed us that they are capable of being the best player in any server. But right now, Recharge Oddball is the name of the game for game 1. Basically, have had a lot of success in Oddball, objective-wise, SnakeBite being your objective leader so far throughout this event. But this is a completely different beast. Who on Shopify are you looking at to really set the tone for them to repeat championships?
When I gave my prediction going into this event, who was going to be the MVP, I didn't base this on stats. I based this on who I think was giving the most value to this roster on a consistent basis. I said that's LastShot. I said that this kid is insane. He's hitting all shots. He's doing everything right. And just this immensely positive attitude that he brings to this roster, you always feel like they're winning, even if something just went wrong.
Yeah, absolutely. You watch LastShot screen, it's perfect. Halo, we're on board with LastShot screen, and he played perfect, able to get an assist with the help of Frosty. The battle for Camo is always the start of Recharge, and it does look like FaZe have been able to pick up a few kills, but in the same moments, Frosty finds 3. It's a one-on-one with Lucid on the map.
That's going to be Cykul. Last one alive there for a short period of time over control. Look at how that worked off the rip. Frosty, 4 kills, 1 death. He took out all of FaZe and says, you should be able to get camo now, Cykul.
And a great job by Aries in the back, finding the player going for that camo. I thought Frosty might have burned that camo, but he actually done punching into his chest. That's actually a good thing for Shopify, as Cykul now with the camouflage, able to get towards top red. The ball set up is going to be a strong one if they're able to get a couple kills. Cykul finds the kill on the SnakeBite, also finds the shock rifle, but a beautiful nade will remove that camo and shock rifle control from Shopify.
Yeah, that was a wild nade by Lucid to predict, because he didn't jump up to bat ledge. He was hiding under there. He took the one corner that nobody from FaZe was able to find him out. And Lucid has a nade waiting for him.
Yeah, and look at this. Lucid, the ball carrier, he gets it from Glass. Because they take down Cykul, they're able to get the ball. They rotate it all the way to blue. They're going to be able to play this ball if things go poorly. Here comes LastShot through the tunnel. Are they going to be able to play that ball? Yes, he tries to catch it. Almost does it. That would have been a highlight to kick this series off. But FaZe will play that ball with a 17-5 lead here early on.
I mean, I kind of disagree with that play ball. I'm going to be honest with you there, Wes. Felt like they still had so many players there from the FaZe roster alive in the back hydro. When you have 3 in that back corner, they need to bring at least 3 to match that firepower.
Yeah, you almost need to make those special plays and take those risks if you're going to beat a team like Shopify Rebellion here in the Winners Bracket Finals.
Boom.
Pznguin still starting to heat up. Pznguin 4-4-3, and he is one of my X factors for this FaZe team, because when Pznguin starts shooting, Pznguin, things get done. Objective work gets done. He is such an efficient player. Lucid once again with the outball. Traditionally not your objective player for FaZe, but look at this. They're playing scrappy, they're playing together. He's gonna throw it to TriPPPeY in the corner, and FaZe will extend the lead here with a setup in pipes.
Yeah, I like this play in pipes. However, TriPPPeY also falling. It feels like there's a couple, I don't want to say forced rotations there from FaZe, but that last one where they brought over towards pipe kind of walked right into Shopify Rebellion's plan.
Hey, Pznguin gets 2 as last player alive. That's all you can ask of PZ in here. Lucid trying to push the bottom middle before that ball can get rotated into blue from Shopify. It's Cykul and Roll 2, the last player's alive. Roll 2 knocked down to no shield. Camo's coming up, and TriPPPeY wins a big fight to get control of the map for FaZe Clan.
Look at this, LastShot trying to do as much damage across the map, but he knows he and his brother, Frosty, are the only ones alive. So he's gonna buy time and somehow wins the 1v1 against SnakeBite.
Yeah, but in the meantime, ball in the hands of FaZe, 33 and climbing. It's a 20-plus point lead right now for FaZe Clan. They are bringing it to Shopify Rebellion.
Yeah, they knew they had to start off hot here on the Sunday, and they're playing well. It hasn't been as much of a problem getting to Sunday here for FaZe Clan. It's been more of, are they gonna win on Sunday?
It's a story of they can't beat Shopify and Optic, and how much of that noise have they been hearing for the past year. Can they figure it out away in the moments in the last major of the year, right before Worlds? Can they break that barrier is the question. Lucid able to get that shock rifle trade with Roll 2, and you'll take that. TriPPPeY, the last player alive for FaZe, trying to deny ball time, going to Shopify comfortably in the lead at 28 points.
I like this play by TriPPPeY. just takes up a little bit more ground, trying to be patient here, knows the shock rifle's here towards top pipes, but Frosty still uncomfortable. Even though he is being pinched over there from gold, his spidey sense is going off and saying, this person's gonna push me just one-on-one without purpose. There's gotta be somebody else coming from the Needler.
Big moment in this game right now. 2 minutes on the clock. Frosty with the shock rifle. First power weapon for him, but look at the kill feed. SnakeBite, TriPPPeY both find kills. Frosty trying to line this up, but Pznguin has been juking him. These jiggles are a problem, and Ford go down for Shopify. Pznguin, you are a maniac for being able to make Frosty miss those shots, because so often we see Frosty take over in that situation.
Yeah, I don't know the species of penguin that's best at strafing. Maybe it's a rockhopper penguin right there from Pznguin.
I don't know.
But that is all the dodging and dipping and diving that he's doing right there.
I don't know any types of penguins, but this one is my favorite right now. SnakeBite now on screen, 9, 6, and 7, no ball time. But look at that, TriPPPeY playing the objective as well, showing you he can do it all. 5, 2, and 7 the stat line, but the most important stat line is the 42 seconds he's been able to contribute to this lead right now. The lead's up over 50, Dave.
I love this. Look at how much time he's drawing there from Shopify. They had 3 down. He ends up killing Frosty and still stays alive in the pipes.
And that's a few different times we've seen one player alive for FaZe Clan get a kill in a situation they have no business doing. Less than 1 minute and 30 on the clock. The ball neutralized. That clock starting to tick. FaZe Clan continuing to get kills. World 2 and LastShot go down. That ball going to be back in FaZe's hands and back into pipes.
I like this play. Not afraid to keep racking up that ball time when they have the advantage. So Pznguin scooping up a few more seconds. But as you said, Wes, time, now, and objective. They can just start to trade slaves with Shopify to win this round 1.
It's a killing spree for TriPPPeY. That combo doing God's work out there as he gets another kill before getting taken down. And that is going to be 84 points, I'm sorry, for FaZe Clan. Here comes the pressure from Shopify. But if Shopify want to get back into this round, it's going to be so difficult. Not only are they down about 75 points, but the clock's starting to become a win condition for FaZe here in round 1 as well.
Baits and switches, and just look at that. Shopify, in order to even clear out pipes, they had to send 3 players there over into the pipes, and they're all eventually cleared out by Lucid.
This is the first time I have watched FaZe Clan play Shopify. In the game, it actually looks easy for FaZe Clan. Everybody working together. Look at the kills. 12, 12, 10, 11. The ball time spread out as well. And the SnakeBite has your least ball time. That's probably a bad sign if you're FaZe, but this time around, it's beautiful.
Yeah, SnakeBite going to this event, the #1 objective player. He got the commendation for his consistent ball time.
I'm done with it.
Yeah, he's like, all right, I did my part, got the award. I'm gonna go for slays now.
That's good stuff. They give the award out Sunday mornings, so SnakeBite done with the objective. But really, it's FaZe Clan just efficiently being in the right position. Everybody doing their part so far, but what can Shopify do to turn this around? The battle for Camo once again ensues at the start of the round. It is going to be trades across the board. Camo's still up. Cykul gets knocked down to no shield. He's actually going to be able to pick up the ball, and when Pznguin's the last player alive, bottom middle, Cykul's going to be able to get out with that ball. And look, roll 2, the duo with Frosty, able to get that camo, and now this is where Shopify get to play for the lead for the first time this series.
It's now Frosty and Shopify's turn to say, all right, we got ball, we got setup, we got camo. Let's see how you break out of this. FaZe were showing during the neutral game, and when they had the advantage, they were doing just fine. But now they have to play off their back foot.
If you thought Shopify was going quietly in the night in game 1, you thought wrong. Here comes Frosty, able to trade. Unfortunately, LastShot couldn't hit that shock rifle shot to maybe keep Frosty alive right there, but what else can LastShot give us now that he's on board? Shock rifle still in hand. They get a couple of kills, and already, Dave, round 2 heavily in Shopify's favor. 36 and climbing with LastShot still with the shock rifle.
Completely different round, day and night as we go here from round to round. And just goes to show how different these teams can play when things start to go their way. There's no doubt that they can inflict damage when they have control, but it's like they're having an extended step. They now have 50 points just off the rip.
Yeah, and FaZe forced to push into the elevator and take down roll 2 before they're able to get into pipes, but all the while, the ball is still in control, 61-0. It is a perfect round so far for Shopify Rebellion.
Just like that, while LastShot is recovering his shield, decides to grab a little bit more time. Just if he drops it back, I do like this play. Gives it back towards his teammate as he is going to make some more use of that shock rifle.
This time around, Cykul with the combo. He's able to knock that shield down, trade with the player 3, go down for FaZe. It's Royal 2 and Frosty still on the map for Shopify. And Royal 2 able to get that ball in hand and continue to extend what is the perfect round for Shopify. The answer is perfect, as always, for Shopify.
Just like that, SnakeBite taking out his former teammate Royal 2 over in the pipes. Seeing if he can get his first seconds on the board. I mean, even Royal 2 has more ball time than SnakeBite.
That's crazy. I don't think I've ever seen that. And I used to team with those guys back in 2011. SnakeBite eventually will get on the board, you know that, but look at this. Finally, FaZe get a numbers advantage for what feels like the first time here in round 2. But so much work still to do. Down 22 points. It's starting to manifest some sort of a comeback in the deficit that's already existing, but is it too little too late? With Camo coming up, it's gonna force FaZe to drop that ball and compete. Lucid can't quite win that piv in long haul, and as I say that, TriPPPeY's still coming off respawn. This is surely a Shopify Rebellion camo.
Yeah, Shopify are gonna be grabbing this camo any moment now. Actually looks like it goes in the hands of TriPPPeY, but gets denied, so gets burned by TriPPPeY. LastShot just being on the outskirts, punishing anyone going in the pit.
Yeah, and as FaZe Clan tried to compete for that camouflage, look at it, it's Roll 2 once again with the ball. He's got the lead up, 91-13. Now the ball neutralized back in the Mangler pit right now, so in a very difficult spot for even if FaZe Clan get these kills, it's going to be so difficult for them to get it back into elevator free.
Yeah, the rounds start to look a bit dire here, if it wasn't already. FaZe at this point, they have the time on the board, but they're going to have to answer with some perfect halo. They're going to have to get all these kills. They're going to have to hold a full step. And in fact, to play it safe, they're going to have to rotate that ball over to Hydro in order to put in a play ball situation, because you can't really expect to do an 86-second hold.
Not against Shopify, not when you're dropping like flies over towards the elevator, and that's going to do it. Shopify will take round 2. They took FaZe's best punch, and they respond immediately with a round of their own in dominant fashion.
I don't watch slap fight battles, but kind of felt like that between round 1 and round 2. Let's see if FaZe Clan can answer here in round number 3. And we could see how much of a difference it makes when they get this good start. I want to see who's being aggressive or who's getting these first initial picks. Last time, you consider round 1, Shopify Rebellion. They had Frosty getting all 4 kills, but FaZe Clan still somehow able to answer back.
Initial kills will go to FaZe Clan. Roll 2 and Frosty drop. Last player's alive. Spotted over towards the elevator. That's Pznguin's sign to get that camo, but unfortunately, as soon as he can get back up top, he gets taken down, and that camo does get removed from the map. So we'll continue to compete for map control here as Lucid and multiple players are stuck in bottom white, and I favor Shopify's positioning here as they have the pipes control closest to the ball.
One thing you need to really admire when you're watching LastShot and you go to his POV next is every single battle he's getting in, it's not exactly he's just straight in that one-gun fight. It's almost like he's still navigating around the map. You saw during that time, he's dipping around the wall over at elevator, making his way towards Needler, doing a G-slide off that. It's almost like the battles are a nuisance on his way as he's doing a speed run around the map.
Yeah, he's moving with a purpose, as LastShot has been doing for so long, it feels like this year. Really one of those special players to watch, and he's leading the Shopify Rebellion stat line with a 27, 9, and 17 performance. Lucid trying to break this setup. It is going to be a play ball from Frosty. Lucid able to take down Frosty. They know Royal 2 is going to be over towards the glass area, but they got to relocate over towards pipes. TriPPPeY and Lucid working together to try and sandwich Royal 2. The combo on a no-shield player doesn't do much, but TriPPPeY able to get that kill. But Royal 2 buys enough time and distracts FaZe enough for the rest of Shopify to respawn and get into pipes, and now it's so difficult for FaZe to try and compete from this position to get any ball time.
Yeah, SnakeBite breaking in through pipes. I believe he gets a pick across the map onto Frosty over at double stacks or at white, but still not tracked down just yet, being a nuisance over in the batteries.
Roll 2, last shot in the kill feed. Cykul with a good job anchoring, holding some crosses, and gets great damage down. Pznguin, the last player alive, actually able to deny Cykul from getting that ball safely over towards the elevator. But fortunately for Shopify fans, there's another player there to pick up that ball. Cykul's able to stay alive, and now Cykul is on the flank.
Again, every single time you're noticing when Shopify or FaZe are moving this ball across the map, it's not like you're just killing that one ball carrier and then the ball stops. That ball is going towards another teammate. They're always rallying towards someone else. So even in a worst case scenario, their team is still able to grab that ball and rotate it in the direction they want.
The battle for TriPPPeY and Cykul, that 1v1 was about 20 seconds long, playing cat and mouse, and it ends up in a trade. Who's that going to benefit, however? SnakeBite with ball in hand, Lucid with camo in hand, but there's a player in the elevator denying entrance into the elevator like a bouncer right now. Makes it so difficult for FaZe to get any ball time. Lucid gets knocked down to no shield. He's being hunted. Can they spot him, though? No, Cykul loses him. Lucid with another kill. 4 go down for Shopify, and Lucid could just as very well made a difference in this game 1 with that play. It is now a FaZe Clan hold at the elevator.
breaking the ankles of Cykul and breaking the hearts of Shopify Rebellion fans. Lucid escaping with that camo, and you're gonna see
Nice shot.
this punishment follow for the next 30 seconds or so, since he now has shock rifle, since he's now 7 gold, but does he still see this person next to him? He does not.
Does get a trade, however, so he gets damage and information on players over towards white and gets the kill at glass. That's a lot of work done there by Lucid. The ball actually rotates into pipes. Beautifully done by FaZe. You're going to need to be able to play this, however. You're losing numbers and losing it quickly. The map is starting to shrink. A nice stick there as Cykul and SnakeBite, I'm sorry, will trade, and that delays what was going to be Shopify control. Now there's 3 dead for Shopify. TriPPPeY actually able to get that ball back into pipes, and that stick does so much for FaZe Clan to take the lead.
And they also have their near perfect setup. They have them all spawning over at Hydro/C Plat. They have people at elevators. And this allows TriPPPeY 2 different options. Basically, his team is going to fight them over at long haul, and they're going to fight him over at control. And whichever way his team either wins or loses the fight, he's going to push towards his advantageous side.
What a veteran play by Pznguin right there. Frosty wanted the chow. Frosty jumps back out in the open, trying to see if Pznguin will give him the opportunity to have that gunfight there. Both no shield. Pznguin cuts off the sight line. Frosty gets taken down, but in the meantime, it's all Shopify on the other side of the map. The ball in the hands of Shopify. So although Pznguin plays that situation like a veteran, the rest of FaZe go down, and right now it's once again a Shopify hold. There are 2 down, so this hold will go down. Look at the members of FaZe collapsing on pipes. They need to get in there before the ball gets played, and unfortunately, that ball gets played top middle. So these 2 players do their job of buying time for respawn for Shopify Rebellion.
Buy some time, but now those 2 kills are staggered. In fact, Cykul's also down. This is going to be disastrous here for Shopify Rebellion. Now that they have all their players on staggered spawns. Frosty goes down. Cykul's also down. They could actually go push and hunt down Royal 2 and LastShot if they want to continue this lead, or they can sit back and just scoop up the free time.
Round 3 for game 1 in the winners finals. FaZe up by 21 right now. Camo is up. SnakeBite with the Shroud able to maybe hide, dip, dodge, dodge. Can he get out of here with the camo though? Cykul spots him as he jumps up, peeks his head over that Shroud. That gives Cykul the opportunity to hunt him down, and SnakeBite burns that camouflage, so it will not be a factor. Great shots from Cykul there as well to get 2 kills onto FaZe.
Literally textbook bait and switch. Right there, Cykul noticing he's one shot, he's not gonna hide until he sees his teammate being shot. The moment his teammate's being shot, he re-chows. Forces a difficult decision for SnakeBite knowing who to shoot.
As we say that though, Cykul ends up going down on the battery. It's a beautiful nade from TriPPPeY. 3 go down, LastShot the last player alive. He had the ball, but he's forced to drop it and try and get a trade. He does just that. But here come the reinforcements from FaZe Clan. Cykul comes off respawn, immediately gets taken down. A great job by FaZe to understand where Cykul was gonna spawn there and shut him off. That should have the reinforcements staggered once again for Shopify.
Pznguin just trying to delay some of this time at the moment. Time is starting to become a win condition, but now with 2 members down from FaZe Clan, they have to be worried about this new ball grab and setup here from Shopify.
Ball resets, SnakeBite backs up from Frosty. Frosty once again with the shock rifle, and if Frosty gets an opportunity, which he doesn't, he can make a play. A great job by FaZe Clan to not give Frosty anything with that shot.
Yeah, you notice how they're just taking these different angles. One quick peek shot, someone else banking a nade from the other side. They're sending 2 players to take out the shock rifles. They know those one-on-ones are not going in their favor.
39 seconds, it's a 11-point lead for FaZe Clan right now. They do lose 2 players, however, so Shopify gonna be able to get that ball. But these last few slays are what's gonna matter. It's gonna decide game 1. The combo is great. It trades. Roll 2 goes down. 2 on 2 on the map. Frosty, Cykul, Pznguin, the last player alive now that Frosty got a kill.
And that's actually the perfect play from FaZe. Even though they didn't execute it correctly, they're pushing to go get pipes. They realize the only safe spot that Shopify can get this to is towards pipes. Shopify securing the kills, Shopify getting the ball, and Shopify getting the lead here in 2 points.
Yeah, Frosty wants to get the lead, and it looks like he wants to play it as well, but no, the kills are coming through. 3 go down for FaZe, and now all of a sudden, FaZe may have one more push. Frosty drops the ball, understanding time is on your side. It's a win condition in your favor. 10 seconds, and FaZe are down by 4. They have to get to the ball, but Frosty is gonna once again be the bouncer to keep anyone out of pipes. He sees no one, and Shopify Rebellion will clutch up at the end of game 1 to take a series lead in the winners bracket finals.
Frosty being icy, who knew that was a combination? He just played that so well at the end. You saw the predicted nades towards bat ledge. You saw him fearlessly holding with the combo towards the entrance at pipes. Anyone that was coming in, he was gonna get that trade with. He also didn't want to just play the ball out there. He didn't want to create a random scenario where somebody from FaZe could grab the ball, hide under bat ledge or hide in batteries, and scoop up a couple points.
And that's the beautiful thing about a player like Frosty, right? Statistically, maybe not his best individual performance, but still made a play that changed the outcome of the game. He's capable of it every single time he spawns up on the server. It's actually LastShot dropping 40 on FaZe's forehead in game 1 of this series. 40-25 with 16 assists. LastShot, we can't say enough things, good things about this kid. He impresses me every single time he steps up here. But Dave, as we take a look at the highlights, FaZe dominate round 1. Shopify come back, dominate round 2. Round 3 is as close as it can get. And if we were talking about before the series kicked off, FaZe have been winning these close games throughout this tournament, and it's really given them a lot of opportunity to continue on throughout the winner's bracket. Is that the first domino that falls that wavers the confidence of a team like FaZe Clan?
Nah, I think they realize how evenly matched they are at this moment. In fact, they're going to take a look at these stats and say, all right, this guy LastShot had one heck of a game. I don't think he can do that for 3 games in a row, 5 games in a row.
Sure hope not.
Yeah, you sure hope not. Sure hope he's not dropping 40 every single game.
40 in a Slayer would be the most impressive thing I've seen. We almost saw Renegade get there. SnakeBite almost did it in the game 5, actually. And I guess if you're a FaZe fan and you're at your home event, you find yourself down 1-0 in this series, but what you can rely on, Dave, is the undefeated Slayer stats that FaZe have so far throughout this tournament, and game 2 is always a Slayer in the series. Origin Slayer is the name of the game, and this is exactly what you need to get back into this series.
Yeah, they need a Slayer, they need it bad. They also need to win this, because just because their stats say they're undefeated so far, guess what team hasn't played Shopify so far this event? FaZe.
Yeah.
And they're up against them here in the winner's bracket finals. Nothing can be taken for granted. Those stats don't guarantee nothing here in this finals.
Not at all, especially when you think about a map like Origin, Coliseum remake from Halo 5. And you know, 2 of those players on the side of Shopify did a lot of dirty things back in the day on that Coli map. Frosty and Rule 2, if they find themselves with an S7, this game could get ugly quick. I am looking at FaZe Clan to really dictate some of the pressure around these power weapons when they're respawning, and TriPPPeY specifically is the player to watch for me to have a big game.
Also, look at the stats here at the very bottom here from FaZe, where it was showing that they are 16th in kills per minute, but also first in deaths. So obviously just showing that they take these games slow.
Yeah.
They are getting 50 kills every single time, but they are taking it at a slower pace than all the other teams in the league.
And when you talk about a matchup and you look at that stat, usually Shopify aren't going to let you play slow. You play at Shopify's pace most of the time when you play against Shopify. What are things FaZe can do as this game kicks off in order to force Shopify to play out of their comfort zone and more into FaZe's play style and what their wants and needs?
Well, as we all know in Infinite, yes, you have some teams that tend to be a little more aggressive, a little more passive. End of the day, this game is won by teams that are aggressive when you have the advantage. I think the thing that FaZe needs to do is, as they start to lose that advantage, as things start to not go their way, start setting up a couple of those traps. As they have a 2-on-4, they need to hunker down, hide away, not let themselves get spotted out by the likes of Cykul and Royal 2.
Well, it's a little late for that. Cykul finds himself a double. SnakeBite, TriPPPeY, Lucid, all 4 going down as Pznguin also goes down. Everybody on FaZe Clan in the respawn screen. It's going to be all of the power going to Shopify. When it rains, it pours, and when rockets are coming, you get killed. Cykul finds himself a nice, easy assist and a kill with those rockets, and look at the lead, Dave, 8-0.
Oh, this is not a great start. Back in the day when I used to play West, if we got to 15-0, I would literally end the game in a scrim. People would not be happy about that online or at LAN, but that was my personal home rule.
That's ridiculous. Start the game. LastShot, with snipe in hand, already proven that he's one of the best players, if not the best player in this server right now, and trying to make it up close and personal, no scope, actually pays for it with his life. A big kill removes that S7 from their hands. Finally, FaZe starting to get some footing on this game, but at 11-2 scoreline to kick it off, Dave, is it already just such a massive deficit? How can FaZe get back into this?
I mean, FaZe, there's still that sniper available, but it's in the hands of Frosty, only 3 bullets. You know he's not gonna give up any of those bullets. So at this point, you need to be prepping for that next set of snipe and rockets. But you do have to wonder, one of those swings at this high level of play where you get that 10-kill lead is kind of enough to win the game at this point. At this point, FaZe just playing their normal playstyle isn't going to cut it. They're going to have to take a few risks that they normally wouldn't take. They're going to have to push a few extra times than they normally wouldn't. And I think they have to do it with the power weapons, because right now, doing it in this neutral scenario, or doing a scenario where Frosty still has some snipe ammo, is not working out.
Dave, you said Frosty had 3 shots left. He's put 2 into the dome of FaZe Clan members. He did such a beautiful job there of relocating every single time he got a kill to make it so difficult for FaZe to keep tabs on him. They finally take him down, but the score still reads 18-6. Roll 2 now on a killing spree. Everybody so far from Shopify showing you a glimpse of the brilliance that makes this team a championship roster.
Just not letting up here. I like this play though. Shopify not saying, all right, we got our lead, let's hunker back, let's wait for only the next weapon or anything. They realize they have him up against the wall. They're going to continue to put this pressure on FaZe because they are just distracted and they're confused. They don't know where it's coming from. Even right there, Lucid focused on different call out over at Snipe, not on the player in bottom center.
23-10, it's a beat down still for Shopify. The new set of rockets has come up. Sniper coming up in 15 seconds as well. And if you're FaZe Clan, you got to figure out a way to get a quick round of slays, and these power weapons need to go into your hands.
Coming up soon, and they now have their half of the map locked down. The first time this game, first time it's kind of slowed down where they're all 4 alive for more than 5 or 10 seconds at a time. And there's the first pick. SnakeBite gets the first pick on the Frosty. That's going to be the next one on Royal 2. It's going to be a 3-on-2. And FaZe get to make their push, and they get to set up for the snipe.
Oh, Cykul gets the melee, the thrust to the side, makes it so difficult for Lucid to track, and with that, he gets a free kill. SnakeBite does find those rockets, but, I mean, you're surrounded at this point. You've lost all of your reassurance there over towards the snipe. The snipe is up, and it's in LastShot's hand once again.
I like that they were able to take out LastShot, though. That's going to be 3 down. They knew that Royal 2 was over at the cave. He's also eliminated, so they still have eyes on all these players from Shopify. Now the question is, can they still pick off these kills and grab that snipe? It does look like Pznguin was able to grab that bomb center and slip away. They have their first full snipe, a 10-kill deficit. Let's see how much they can chip away at this over the next minute.
Yeah, are FaZe able to slow this game down into a stalemate? Maybe allow Pznguin some opportunity to get some picks across the map without trading anything. That's going to be so important for their comeback right now. Frosty trying to push under the elbow, but it's 2 players from FaZe holding that elbow that remove him.
That's tough because we talked about how slow FaZe can play this. FaZe are not going to let somebody slip by during a non-chaotic time. Now, Frosty made that very first good push when focus was all over on the snipe catwalk side. The mistake he made was not waiting for a second fight to make that push-up elbow.
Yeah, he did not need to lead and be the distraction there. He wanted to slip through the cracks, like you said, and look at how Pznguin's anchoring. He's going to reposition towards the cave. Roll 2 is going to be top pyramid, but his teammate's calling out LastShot on his elbow. Now all of a sudden, members of FaZe are following, and Pznguin starting to lose a lot of space on the map. He's going to end up getting trapped if he doesn't hit a shot quickly.
And we kept talking about how are FaZe going to close this gap over the next minute with this power up, and there's been no gap closed. They chipped away a couple for a little bit, but it's once again a 10-kill lead for Shopify, and they aren't playing like they have the snipe. They're cowered in the back of the cave. Shopify just all over the base. 2 fall, make that 3. Sniper back in the hands of Royal 2.
Never a good sign when you look over to your right and you see your other teammate stuck in the cave with you, grenades coming through, and they get collapsed upon, and that was obviously Shopify taking all of the space on the map, suffocating FaZe into the cave, and then finding success from there. 36-22, the lead back up to 14.
Yeah, and this one's just looking dire here for FaZe Clan in game number 2. Right off the rip, as they got that 10-kill lead, they have not let up. And every single time, I don't know exactly what to attribute it to. I don't think it's just the superior positioning. I do think that this aggression from Shopify and just better shots being hit. Because as you get those shots across the map and people that are being aggressive to take advantage of it, they're just taking up more and more ground, and they're being constricted in small parts of the map.
I think you talked about it in Oddball Day, but the start of each round mattered so much for the success of the teams, and the start of this game was all Shopify. It was a perfect 8-0. The power weapons doing so much for Shopify. The positioning has been perfect. They want these rockets, but they're not going to get these rockets for free. SnakeBite goes down. Lucid still playing his life. LastShot able to spot him, but the teammate in Cykul throws a nade across the map. It's going to take down Lucid, and when it rains, it pours grenades, apparently, as rockets will go into the hands of LastShot as well.
LastShot snagging those, and just like that, put a little pressure towards the blue flag, but does get taken down by TriPPPeY's carbine.
Yeah, nice shots by TriPPPeY. Somehow dodges that rocket as well. I thought the splash damage might do a little bit more. Lucid and TriPPPeY both find kills in the kill feed, but is it too little too late? 43-29. FaZe 6 kills away from losing their first Slayer here in Charlotte.
Yeah, dinner might be early. I don't think they're going to be getting a steak, but there was a chance at it for a moment. And there were both the weapons, I believe, on that elbow. I think they're going off.
Yep. There goes both the weapons.
Yeah, and that was really FaZe's only chance, I would say, to get back in this. It feels counterintuitive, but there are actually instances where if FaZe has a sniper rifle at the end of the game like this, you don't want to hop it off, even if Shopify are about to pick it up, because you need that sniper to somehow pull a 15-kill lead.
Yeah, it's all situational, and now the win condition's shrinking. As one kill is all Shopify need. 49-33, a dominant performance here in game 2. Who's gonna get the last kill? You're running for your life, but you can't run very far as Shopify, once again, find a way to dominate the end of the game as well. And I mean, Dave, that was the most impressive thing I think we've seen, because we've been talking and hyping up all of FaZe's Slayer stats throughout this weekend. They've been so consistent in those Slayers, but that was not the FaZe that we have seen, and that was everything we've seen from Shopify to make us believe they are destined for the grand finals.
Like we said, a lot of those stats are anecdotal. We're going in there saying, hey, they're 7-0, but that doesn't mean anything. Yes, they are having the least amount of deaths per minute or kills per minute. Doesn't mean anything. Those stats change real quick on that game.
Yeah, crunch those numbers again, and I guarantee they're a little bit off of what they just were, because, I mean, from the start to the finish, it was all Shopify Rebellion, and we talked about it a little bit. Like, the start of these rounds and oddballs really dictated who gets to play from the lead, who kind of gets to dictate the pace, who gets the power weapons. A lot of that goes hand in hand. For Shopify to come out and dominate the start of that game, I asked you if game 1 deflated FaZe. Slayers have been your strengths. It doesn't even feel like you really got a chance to play this Slayer from the start to the finish. Going into game 3, what can FaZe do to muster up some confidence, some reassurance that they can actually do this? Because right now, I feel like it's got to be the lowest they've felt throughout this tournament so far.
Yeah, they need a better game plan when things aren't going their way. Because what's happening is they'll have all 4 go down, which is going to happen. It's bound to happen against a team like Shopify. But what can't happen is you can't have that happen 2 to 3 times in a row.
Yeah.
You need to have a focused plan to break out of that scenario. It can't just be, all right, somebody sprint out and somehow win a 1v1 against one of these stellar players on this other side. No, it has to be, all right, maybe his first person that spawns waits for 3 seconds, buys time, crouches in the corner, hides until the next spawner comes out, and then you both focus on the same area together so that you have at least some sort of advantage as you're trying to push out.
It's much more difficult once you lose those first 4, that the next time you get a 4-on-4 situation, they got rockets and snipe, a lot of things in their favor. But as I take a look at the stats off the screen, Dave, LastShot having that 40 bomb in the first game was fantastic, but this is what makes this Shopify team the champions they are. It's World 2 leading the way, 15, 6, and 9, but LastShot actually only going 8, 9, and 8. Like, everybody on Shopify has the potential to dominate anyone in this league. If they catch fire, which they have been throughout this tournament, this team's unbeatable.
They're looking absolutely dangerous so far. And yeah, to be able to pull off that sort of results in the winners bracket finals, like a 50-33 score, those are looking like pool play scores, or like some, a open bracket score.
Yeah.
Like, those are sort of numbers that are unheard of here in Infinite.
Right, and game 1 was close as it can really be, right? Down to the last 10 seconds, separated by 4. But game 1's a long way away, Dave. Aquarius CTF's the name of the game for game 3. And you love FaZe and CTFs typically. Yeah, you get to play a map that doesn't have the same level of punishment that a map like Origin has, as far as if you do go 4 down, they're not going to have a snipe, they're not going to have rockets. At most, they're going to have a camouflage. But the pace the Shopify play at is going to be difficult to try and figure out from FaZe. And when these two teams, honestly, when they scrim, when they played in the past, it has kind of had a pool play matchup results. It has been all Shopify Rebellion. Looking at the elite defense stats here from both of these teams, FaZe are good at CTS, but it feels like Shopify are just unstoppable right now.
Yeah, what's the quote? Defense wins games right there, and looking like Shopify not allowing anyone to cap the flag. Also, I think we just got to highlight, now that I'm getting a flashback to Shopify versus SSG, that Origin flag as well was an insane game. So maybe just Origin and Shopify, or a combo that can't be messed with.
Yeah, forgive me, I have a criminal justice degree, but did that say 100% of the returns? If I'm thinking about how that stat translates, you mean to tell me Shopify hasn't had a cap against them That's incredible. Shopify apparently perfect. SCTF surprise, Shopify being the best at something.
Well, Wes, as the kids these days say, yes, there's not been a capture against Shopify. No cap.
Leave it to the kids, Dave. Game 3.
Hey, I gotta try to stay relevant. I gotta try.
Papa Walsh, ladies and gentlemen, teaching you the slang that you can use to maybe pick up some chicks. CTF Aquarius is the name of the game as we refocus. Let's get back into it. It's Winners Bracket Finals. FaZe do not want to go quietly in the night, especially knowing that Optic Gaming are waiting in the wombs, waiting in the Elimination Bracket Finals. Optic Gaming have come all the way back from round 1, and they want FaZe Clan, especially how they look. Right now, Frosty makes his way through bottom middle already. That's an incredible push.
It wasn't just Frosty going low. It felt like all 4 of them went low. They just give up high, and right here, all of a sudden, this upper advantage of being top center, top car, top pink, turns into disadvantage. It's all these people come up from below, like they're from Arrakis or something like that. Every single player just all of a sudden climbed up high, and they didn't know which way to look and which way to coordinate.
Yeah, look at this FaZe of overextend pink, but they're not going to get there in time. LastShot puts a flag in the first minute of the game. That first round of slays, the efficiency of Shopify once again showing itself here in the first minute. They're able to take the lead, and now once again, Roll 2 with a double cap opportunity. Pznguin, the last player alive to throw up. It's like watching Final Boss back in 2007.
That is insane. We're not seeing teams really afforded the luxury of tossing a flag up in from the base for the sake of efficiency, because the other team has to have some sort of control across the map. But they aren't done yet. That's going to be a 3rd flag grabbed by Royal 2. What is happening, Wes?
They're speed running this game. They're saying, let's get back behind the main stage and let's get to the grand finals, ladies and gentlemen. It's 3-0, and what feels like FaZe blink. They don't see anybody at the start. Now all of a sudden, the game is 3-0, heavily controlled by Shopify.
I've really never seen anything like this on Aquarius flag. For them just to make such efficient work of those kills, of those flag grabs, and even just toss it up, just working out perfectly. Now they are gonna pump the brakes a little bit. They need to get those slays on the board. The reason they were able to do that last time is because FaZe collectively had 4 to 6 kills over the first minute and a half. Now they've stepped up a little bit. You see TriPPPeY and Lucid waking up, putting up a few more on the board.
It's such a difficult spot for FaZe to be in right now, though. I mean, Shopify, in the first 2 minutes of the game, have a 3-0 lead. You know how comfortable they probably feel being able to play for map control? Are you really that surprised, though? For what they did to SSG in the CTF, it's basically the same story. Different map, same team, same dream, same perfection from Shopify here early on.
Look at this, TriPPPeY able to at least pick up that kill onto Frosty. It's gonna help his teammate Royal 2 against Royal 2.
All right.
Now we have the first flag run here from FaZe. It should be pretty good. Even though LastShot gets that first kill, he's in a tough spot. That's gonna be finished, and flag continued to be rallied across the map. But it doesn't stop. Cykul makes his way towards bottom card. Lucid is not assisting on the flag. I'm curious as to this position. He wants to get some more kills across the map or something, but I thought that he should be there escorting the flag. Instead, Lucid going for a new flank.
Did you not see the stat before the game, Dave? It's 100% return. It's guaranteed. No matter what the situation, Shopify denied that flag run. It was promising for FaZe, and when they look back, that is going to be one that maybe gives you some momentum to get back into this game, but still, Lucid with this camo.
He's out of the fight. He's completely out of the fight right now. All these members of Shopify, they were all across the map against FaZe, and then when he least expects it, Cykul pushes on back, gets the first shot on the camo guy, now is a one-on-one against Lucid. Lucid gets his shields back, decides to do a reversal perfect to save his life.
Incredible play by Lucid to win that 1v1, but Frosty comes back to take down Lucid to make sure that this flag does not leave the base. It is still front of the base as Frosty was the last player alive. We hop on board with him. He gets taken down. Flag still in front of the base, but Shopify have respawned. It's going to have to be another round of slays, but they want to touch on this.
He's going to rally this.
So perfect in order to get back into this game. LastShot does get taken down. A touch does come through. The flag going to be front of FaZe's base, but 3 go down for FaZe. The return is inevitable. 100% means it's guaranteed, Dave.
It's a locked-in one right there. That's going to be Frosty still trying to recover it, and it happens one more time there for Shopify. FaZe, hover. They're showing life. They're getting the flag far across, but it seems like Shopify are relentless. In times where I'd consider a team just staggering deaths and sending people one by one, seems to be working for Shopify.
7 minutes and 45 seconds on the clock. Sounds like a ton of time, everybody, but A couple more returns are so deflating for FaZe because this 3-0 lead feels so heavy, and it's only gonna get heavier as the game goes on.
Cykul eventually dropping their bottom pink, but look at these bait and switches here from the members of Shopify. It looks like Royal 2 actually gets the melee and stays alive against TriPPPeY. So these players are doing so well, just buying just those precious extra seconds. Those seconds add up every single time Shopify get an engagement. You see the extra little jiggle beat. You see them buy the extra half a second, 2 seconds. And then they also have the skill and ability to just G-slide out and win their individual fight if they need to.
Multiple-time world champions that duo is, and showcasing it here on a championship Sunday. It's no surprise. Frosty and Roll 2 dominating over towards the pink, and Frosty's been knocked down to no shield probably 4 or 5 times this one life, but nobody can find the last shot on the Frosty. He's gonna throw that flag out and make it so difficult for FaZe coming off respawn to deal with all the equations.
Frosty's awareness is off the charts. He was absolutely one shot in the util. Once he peeked out towards level 2 flag, realizes somebody's not there yet. Otherwise, they would be looking here to try to finish this off. He wraps around towards Shroom stairs, gets the kill, gets the toss out, and staying alive.
He's still doing it. He just got another kill on the Lucid. Meanwhile, LastShot finds that kill top middle. LastShot tries to get that flag a little bit further, but eventually gets taken down. Finally, Frosty gets taken down. 14-4 and 8 Frosty. His reign of terror in FaZe's base is over, but his damage being done too far for Shopify Rebellion. 6 minutes now on the clock, and Shopify still continue to dominate what is the map control here on Aquarius.
And Shopify, when they're dominating the map control, you know that they can get a pull and start to go for a cap, but even if they're not, they're draining this clock. You said before, oh, 7 minutes and 40 seconds. All of a sudden, that's now 6 minutes. Before we know it, might be 4.5 minutes.
To go down, there is a flag out right now. This could be the first flag scored on Shopify this tournament, if I am correct. SnakeBite with a kill is almost going to guarantee this flag, I would say. Shopify should let this one go, especially knowing that there's 2 down. Roll 2 Frosty coming off respawn. SnakeBite in the window is able to make this a 2-cap game. So as bad as it's looked, this is still a winnable game for FaZe Clan if they can get one more flag in a reasonable time.
They need to get that first one to believe. Yeah. They needed to get that through because it was frustrating over and over again when that flag would be halfway and it just feels like Shopify would have their last straggler come on through, get the kill, and get the recup. This was the first one where you saw FaZe come ahead in the kill and get the rally. Now, FaZe though, 3 down for a moment. That was Pznguin as the last one alive. What can Pznguin do to buy some time? And I like this. You see Pznguin over on the other side of the screen, over at bottom car, buying some time, doing some damage. Even though he gets taken down, that was precious periods of time where his team is now able to take over the util.
Yeah, but look how Roll 2 plays his life so perfectly. Doesn't allow Pznguin to take him down. He cuts off the sight line. He actually just hugs the corner tight. FaZe can't get a nade on him, and because of it, he's still alive. He's still a problem. Plasma pistol in hand, jumping back to base, in your face one more time. Can't hit the shot, but I mean, still the constant pressure, the ability to stay alive is what's separating these two right now. Shopify are doing such a good job to make FaZe work for every single kill.
Just trying to get as much info across the map. Frosty does spot him, finds him hiding in the corner, gets that very first kill, and that's gonna be 4 dead. This flag's moved across the map, but if we saw something begin this game, I wouldn't be worried about just the 1 cap. You gotta be careful about this double cap here if you're FaZe.
Double cap ends the series. We'll see if Shopify can punch this 4th flag in before even speaking about the 2nd one that's about to be run. And no, actually, Flag Carrier gets taken down, but look at Roll 2, where he always is in his own window, able to get the credit for the objective, and Roll 2's flag caps just went up a hell of a lot statistically, but more importantly, Shopify go up 4-1.
FaZe gonna possibly be able to counter cap this. There were 3 down again for a short period of time against Shopify, but they have to be careful because not only do they need these caps, they need to keep some map control. Shopify have shown how objectively consistent and efficient that they are. There goes 2 down for FaZe. Lucid, if he dies for this cap, this could be the end of the game in series.
There's no way when you lose 2 players like that, Shopify all over top middle, you have no chance of running that into the window. And look at this, the return, maybe not 100% anymore, but still pretty damn close as LastShot gets the return, hits some beautiful shots on the SnakeBite, and the last and final flag now on the move.
LastShot moving this through car. 2 members down for FaZe. What can Pznguin and Lucid do to stop this? Is there anyone in position? He's bringing it straight through. This is a faster route. They thought they had a couple more seconds, so nobody's watching there immediately. And that flag is up on the catwalk for the taking. 2 down apiece.
Yeah, but Frosty does such a good job to stay alive. He's not necessarily concerned with this flag as much as he is making sure FaZe don't get a counter cap opportunity here. He lost a couple players, but look at that. LastShot actually has time to respawn as the original flag runner, punch it in, and Shopify punch their ticket to the grand finals. FaZe Clan have a date with the green wall in the elimination finals here shortly.
And that just looks so clean from them. Just that level of domination we saw from Shopify Rebellion when they had control, when they're just charging and keeping them staggered spawns, I haven't really seen anything like it.
I mean, they look like flat out the best team. There's a reason Optic Gaming were knocked into the elimination bracket so early this tournament, and it is because they ran into this Shopify Rebellion team. And at Salt Lake, they looked like the best team so far throughout this tournament. They look untouchable. And on the side of FaZe, Sunday morning didn't go the way you wanted it to, of course, and it really goes back to that off-ball day. We talked about how important it is to win the close games for a team. An underdog trying to beat a team that consistently feels like they have your number, and losing that game 1 really was the last time I can say FaZe felt like they were in this series in a competitive manner.
Yeah, that was just domination outside of that game 1. I mean, the score, it does 5-1. Feels like a strong scoreline, but I don't think that really stamps how that first 2 minutes felt of that game. It just felt like they were completely outclassed, completely outmaneuvered. You're not seeing people do flag tosses to the front of the base unless they have absolute map domination.
Yeah, I remember you throwing it up to Ogre too once upon a time, but that's about the last time I saw that. Maniac was not going to catch that flag. He made me run it all the way around back in the day, but I mean, Dave, when you look at that series as a whole, FaZe did some things that can give you some hope that maybe they can get back to a shot against Shopify, but where this series was really determined was in the first 30 seconds of a lot of these games and rounds. Dominance from Shopify in games 2 and 3 at the start. What can FaZe do to kind of change things up and have a little bit more success? Because they're going to need it knowing that Optic are waiting in the looms.
Yeah, I mean, on one hand, it's not it's not Shopify in this next one. The fact that that team feels like they're kind of on this different level. You know, you start to, we talk about the number 1 teams being Optic and Shopify.
Of course.
Kind of like 1A and 1B. But I'm starting to feel, after seeing the results from this event so far and the consistency out of Shopify, I'm starting to think we're seeing a 1.
Yeah, it looks like a 1 to me, at least so far throughout this event. But we've seen this already this season where Optic
rock, paper, scissors a lot.
on Saturday, somehow get 3-0 by Mind Freak. I don't mean to remind the green wall, but it's looked good since, I feel like. Optic on a tear in the elimination bracket. We've seen them use that momentum to traject them right onto the podium, holding up that trophy at the end of the weekend. We'll see if that's the case this time around, but Shopify comfortably confident going into the grand finals for sure.